great, singular power of self-respect. Without it, one eventually discovers the final turn of the screw. One runs away to find oneself and finds no one at home. Personal favorite of mine with Joan Didion, and on the lighter side of things, from Amy Poehler. So here we go, you and me, because what else are we going to do? Say no? Say no to an opportunity that may be slightly out of our comfort zone? Quiet our voice because we are worried it is not perfect? I believe great people do things before they are ready. This is America, and I am allowed to have healthy self-esteem. A war raged between my joking, protective brain and my squishy and tender heart. I yearn for the clean, well-lighted place. So let's peek behind the curtain and hail the others like us, the open-faced sandwiches who take risks and live big and smile with all their teeth. These are the people I want to be around. This is the honest way I want to live and love and write. Except when it comes to celebrities, without makeup. I want my celebrities to look beautiful. I do not need to see them pumping gas.
Ready to start. I'd like to call up Sarah, the Marion, explain her role.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters, and yes, we have some guests today. It's great. I'll be Vicky Marion today, and there's two parts to that role. One of them is to introduce a word of the day that I'll encourage everybody to use as many times as they can, and I'll keep track of that and report at the end. And today's word is bedraggled, and that's an adjective, and it kind of means what it sounds like. It means dirty or disheveled. And a sentence example is, after a night of adventures outside, the cat came home looking very bedraggled. In addition to keeping track of the word of the day, I'll also be watching for speech connectors, ahs, ohs, sums, anything like that, with a tally, and I'll also take note of any picturesque speech or anything grammatically that sticks out to me, and I'll report at the end of the meeting.
Next, I'd like to call Deanna for Piganta, sorry.
Hello, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. I'm the timer for the day. So if you have 2 minutes left, I'll show a green light over there. 1 minute left, yellow, and time expired, red. For table topic speakers, green light after 1 minute, yellow light after 1:30, and red light after 2 minutes. For evaluators, it's green after 2 minutes, yellow after 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and red after 3 minutes. Thank you.
Now, without further ado, I'd like to call up our first speaker. He's doing the first speech from the entertaining speech manual. He requested 5 to 7 minutes. John Potter is going to be presenting an engagement.
Thank you. And I am feeling rather bedraggled. I sat down on the park bench, practiced my speech before, and it was soaking wet. And I'm sure my grandmother would be laughing at me right now. And she's one of those people that, if I think about her, it makes me smile and get a chuckle. I'm sure we all have one of those. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and Toastmasters and our distinguished guests. I want to tell you that's the engagement story, as I told my grandmother. But first, I need to give you some background. I brought along a couple of pictures of my grandmother. She was very much in character. Her parents were Swedish immigrants, and they settled on in the plains of western Minnesota. She did not speak any English until she went to school. She was very, very proud of her heritage. 3 out of her 4 grandchildren married Norwegians. She would tell them to their face, I don't besides loving her heritage, she loved the old country food. We had to have fisk every Christmas. My toes curling. I start shaking when I think about it. The smell, the look, the taste. Rah! My grandma had to have it every Christmas. I have a sister-in-law that's from Thailand. She took one bite of it and went to the kitchen, got a bottle of fish sauce and doused it. And Grandma just kind of shook her head. She shook her jaw and said, "Oofta." Oofta was a very common word with my grandma. If she didn't like something, she'd shake her head, and she had these jowls that hung down, and she'd say, "Oofta." My grandmother was rather stubborn too. She did not like to listen to her daughters. "Mom, you shouldn't be drinking so much coffee. You need to take your medicines. You need to stop driving." Yeah, didn't listen to them, but she would listen to me. I could talk her into about anything. So I got her to stop driving. I never got her to stop drinking so much coffee. I did get her to take her medicines. So I want to go in and tell you, it was April 1988. I was living in California. My grandmother was still in the plains of Minnesota, and I called her. I call her every couple of weeks and talk. And this particular day was her birthday. And I wished her a happy birthday and asked some of the birthday memories and that kind of thing. Then I told you, "Grandma, you sitting down." I knew she was, because this would be her pose for the day. Sitting in her chair with an Afghan on her lap, with a Scrabble board on top of it, and all the pieces are worn off. She plays Scrabble by herself, hours on end. She'd go through a board every year or two and just wear them out. You couldn't tell what the letters were anymore. I guess she never lost by doing that. And she had a cup of egg coffee on the table beside her. So I could see Grandma just sitting there. She says, "Grandma, I got something exciting to tell you. I got engaged." I could tell she was so happy. She started asking me all the details. How did we meet? About her family. And I went into much detail. And I could tell she was excited more and more along the way. And then finally got to, she says, "Oh, tell me about how you got engaged." I said, "Okay, Grandma, I got down on one knee on the beach, overlooking the Pacific at sunset, and proposed to her." And she waited for a little while and said yes. And Grandma said, "Oh, I'm glad." So she said yes and asked, "Oh, what's the date?" And all those details that you ask somebody that's newly engaged. We talked for about a half hour. I got hammered with questions for that half hour. Then we were ready to hang up and said, "Oh yeah, Grandma, happy birthday one more time." I said, "Do you know what day it is today?" She says, "Yes, it's April 1st. I said, "Grandma, April Fools!" Needless to say, I'm glad I was 2,000 miles away because she would have gotten me. Then she would have started laughing. So I hope this brought a chuckle to you. Like
Very good at punchline at the end. 1 minute for review. invite up our next speaker. This is his third speech in 4 weeks. Again, he is also first speech from the Entertaining Speech Manual, and it's he's going to be answering a question about brooms. Chris Nibby's requested 5 to 7 minutes, and his title, is called Sweet Motivation.
Brooms, 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 sweeping brooms, 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 brooms. Brooms. Okay, fellow Toastmasters. Some of you have heard this before. Stop with the eye rolling. We, as Toastmasters, need to set a great example for all these wonderful guests and new people. Leading by example is what we do, and we teach others. Toastmaster and fellow guests, thank you for being new and keeping my material fresh. But regardless of how you all feel, I can feel the waves of why just washing over me. Some of you may claim to understand this burning passion that I have for brooms, but I know better. You're just saying that so you can escape faster. Why? Oh, there's a how. It was 2014. My first historical demonstration event was my gateway event. The attendees would stop by and appear amazed and even interested to see how a broom may have been built 100 years ago. I go right on that I'm guessing at it myself. Oh. And then I got a taste of something more when I went to the Mayo Employee Craft Show later that year. Almost 400 craft tables, many of them lots and lots of interesting things that interest me, but not a single one that matched anything close to my little interest. So that winter, with my wife's permission, I set to work to experiment and to practice this new art of hand-tied brooms. Why? I really had no idea why, but eventually I had enough brooms for a spring event. A craft show. But why was I here? I'm standing amid about 100 hastily hung brooms gently swaying in the rain-cleansed morning breeze. It's not the sweet smell of hay drifting off of these brooms that fueled my motivation. So what was it that got me here today? But then all the questions were abandoned as the crowd drifts in. At first, I only exchanged a few shy smiles. And then some friends showed up for support. Finally, a stranger comes in, picks up a simple ring broom, tests it out by sweeping her hands. She's looking around the booth. Did you really make all of these? I nod, she goes, sweet. Ooh, what was that? Ooh, that tasted vaguely unfamiliar. And my day just snowballed from there. I had a lovely pair of ladies show up. Each picked up a pair of brooms and then insisted that both my wife and I try some of their coconut chocolate oatmeal stout that was being served just down the road. Well, they left happy and a few brooms heavier. My wife also left to get us a beer of our own. Then there was another visitor. She thought that these broom corn drumsticks would be just perfect for her bongos. But the only matching pair is purple and gold. She's not a Vikings fan. To her delight, I make her another set. She seals that transaction with a group hug and Facebook friendship. It was an amazing day. But that is not even close to being the cherry that topped my already sunny day. Picture this, 2 young ladies, each pushing a stroller, and they come to my booth. One suddenly stops. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Brooms! Little, oh my gosh! Little broom. Oh my! Oh, these are so sweet! Oh, yes, she did. She really did that. And it was glorious. This is why I make brooms.
Thank you. 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute is up. Next, I'd like to invite up Shelley for our topic master.
Good afternoon. Today for Table Topics, we're going to talk about places. That's kind of our theme. So we'll have a different question for each person who comes forward regarding favorite places. Do I have any volunteers? John, welcome, John. John's doing double duty today. Impressive. Okay, John, can you tell us about one of your favorite restaurants?
I don't look like it. I mean, you heard about some of my Swedish heritage, but when I lived in LA for 5 years, I loved authentic Mexican food. And that's the only thing that I miss about it. One of the little restaurants that we go to was down by the train tracks, and you never took your wallet with you. You never went by yourself. You had enough money for your meal, and that was about it. And we were the only white people in the whole restaurant. And we get the stares and like, who are these guys? But the food was incredible. Spicy, flavorful, and I still miss. My mouth is watering even thinking about it. So, and it was that typical dive restaurant, because once or twice a year, it would get closed down by the health department. For a health violation. But you know what? That never stopped us. That started my love of Mexican food, and that's why I make my own salsa.
Great, thanks John for sharing that. Our next topic will be favorite places to relax or refuel. Oh, we've got a volunteer team. Thank you. Favorite place to relax or refuel?
I have many places to relax and refuel. One of them is my bedroom, but that's just because I go to sleep there. That would be a very boring story. So my favorite place to go and relax and refuel is Hanalei Bay in Kauai, which is one of the Hawaiian islands. It's the island of the northernmost point of the Hawaiian island chains. And in Hanalei Bay, my aunt had a house just a couple blocks in from the bay. Hanalei Bay is where they filmed South Pacific, Valley High, that song in the movie South Pacific. And that when you saw in the beginning when the girl says, I'm going to wash that man right out of my hair, that's the pier in Hanalei Bay. And that was my favorite movie as a teenager. So when I go to Hanalei Bay and I'm walking around, I'm reliving the whole movie of South Pacific, and it totally makes me relax. And I can see Mimi Rogers doing her hair, and I can see the soldiers, and and that guy, the French guy, up on the veranda overlooking Hanalei Bay. That's actually called, what's it called? Princeville. Princeville is the resort, and my parents take us there at night. And then I imagine that man and that woman that see each other, the sun enchanted evening, we will see a stranger. They're there. Oh, it's the most awesome thing. I get totally relaxed and taken away. And when I have to get on the plane and come back, I'm sad because I have to come back to the real world. That's my favorite place to relax.
Taking notes on these things, these sound like some wonderful places to visit. And just so the new people know, singing is not a requirement.
No.
Just in case you were wondering. Okay, next. How are we doing on time? Do we have more for one or two more? Okay. So our next favorite place, our favorite place to spend a weekend. Any volunteers want to tell us their favorite place to spend a weekend?
So, during the week, I try to really fill my day. I go. I go to meetings, I read books, I do things, I talk with people. So on the weekend, it's all about resting and relaxation. And my favorite place to spend a weekend is at home. And I'll tell you why. The reason is because two little girls named Lily and Emily, my two daughters. One, Lily is 4 and Emily is 11 months. And the two of them are just learning how to play well together. And my 4-year-old is very curious about everything. And she copies me and follows me around. And she's really quite a character. She's got a lot of a really wry sense of humor. And so, you know, on Saturday and Sunday mornings, when we wake up all bedraggled, we really just want to spend time together and really enjoy family life, and that is really where I like to spend my weekends, cooking and playing games and just generally enjoying my family.
Thank you. And we have one more favorite place. What is your favorite place to take a visitor? And what to tell us favorite
take a
place
visitor.
to take a visitor. The wheels are spinning, I can tell. Someone's going to volunteer any moment.
Favorite place to take a visitor for me would be Niagara Falls in New York. In fact, I have taken, when I was growing up in India, Niagara Falls is like the place to go to for almost all Indians. And whenever, like, I have visitors from India who visit me, like my friends, relatives, my parents, and only thing they want to see is the Niagara Falls. And I've been to Niagara Falls many times. I've taken my parents, I've taken my brother-in-law, I've taken other folks, and in fact, I took my family also once when my son was 4 years old. And the first time I was there, I was blown away by the magnificence of the water, the amount of water, and it's a completely different environment over there. Can't put it in words. And then I took my parents. They were amazed. They were like, they couldn't speak for minutes. And then I took my brother-in-law and his daughter, and he said he didn't see the Canadian side, he saw the US side, and like, this is Niagara Falls? He was so disappointed. And he said, I just spent like $700